Would you become a millionaire if you had $100,000 and had access to Warren Buffett's identical investment list for the next 5 years? Almost certainly not. Allow us to explain. Welcome to KG, the Inspiration Center for Future Billionaires. This is why. Technically, Warren Buffett isn't the finest investor in history based just on his returns. There are self-described Dogecoin investors who run circles around him. In fact, if Buffett had retired at the age of 60, few people would have heard of him. This is due to the fact that he amassed 99% of his money after the age of 50. Buffett did not become a billionaire as a result of his investment returns. Because of his constant investments over the course of more than 60 years, he became a billionaire. And, just like in the world of investing, there are simple things in life that work on the same principle. Do something consistently now and you'll get a lot more in return in the long run. In this video, we'll go through some of the most useful items we discovered. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, declared Einstein. Or, at the very least, according to the internet, there's no proof he ever said that. However, one thing is certain. Compounding interest is, as the youngsters say, outclassed. Many people don't realize how enormous compounding may get, so here's a little anecdote we just heard. Consider a lake in the middle of nowhere with an algal bloom that grows by a factor of 2 every day. Which day does the lake reach the half-full stage if it is full of algae after 30 days? 29 is the right answer. But you don't think of that? Compounding, on the other hand, works in exactly the same way. So, returning to the concept of basic things that benefit from this, we'd like to begin with 1. Building a community. Whether you're an individual or a business, starting a community early on reaps huge benefits in the long term. Everything in life is based on communities and people. We have a strong desire to belong to a group. Our survival depends on our ability to work together for a better future. We require like-minded individuals who we can rely on. If you can provide for your community, it will organically expand. One of the abilities that will become more in demand in the next years is learning how to cultivate an audience. It's much more difficult to create a product and then develop a community for it than it is to do it the other way around. At the same time, the economics is shifting in favor of content creators. There's this one incredibly modest game that made $86 million because one content creator decided to stream it to his community by accident one day, sending off the first domino. People are being hired in crucial jobs as a result of the communities they have built with their material on Twitter. Building an organic community takes effort and commitment on your part, and it's one of the few things you can't buy in life. That is why it yields such a high profit. So, what if you want to do something but don't know where to begin? Begin the process of forming a community. And while we're on the subject, 2. Give more than you take. Or, as Gary Vee likes to put it, the 51/49 rule. The concept is straightforward, but the long-term benefits are exponential. Isn't it true that you're in it for the long haul? Everyone wants to know what's in it for them. What are they going to do to take advantage of the circumstance and get the most bang for their buck? This produces a toxic corporate and personal atmosphere in which no one trusts anyone and little value is created. When everyone is looking out for their own interests, personal and professional ties, everything is diluted. Life rewards those who give and punishes those who take. Start giving more early in life, and the value of all of your connections will increase tenfold over time. Sure, some people will try to take advantage of your generosity, but so what? What have you given up in exchange for what others have gained? Individuals like to do business with people they know they can trust and who will look after them. That is how a robust network is formed. Keep people's best interests in mind without expecting anything in return. To some, this may appear absurd, but the truth is that giving a little more than you receive will not break your business. It's not about profit margins or who got the rougher end of the deal. It's all about adding value to other people's lives. It will be rewarded by the universe. We've worked with people who provided a little more, and on our end, We gave a little more back, and as a result, we've developed good partnerships down the road. And while we're on the subject, what if you had the chance to do something that means nothing to you but a lot to someone else? Do that all the time? This is how you raise the total value. The third easy thing with a huge return on investment is 3. Microlearning. We believe that microlearning is the future of education, and that everybody who is serious about their education should begin using it right away. That's why we'll be releasing Shorts soon, a new series of short pieces that will be both productive and actionable. So make sure you followed and pressed the bell symbol. Here's the thing. What good is a college degree if you spend a couple of solid years getting it just to be below average when you're done? Something is wrong with you. That's not how it's meant to work in education. People make the error of thinking that their education ends when school ends. They are frightened of learning and are overwhelmed by fresh developments in the environment. They become accustomed to the notion that if they did not learn about anything as a child, it is now too late for them. But that's where microlearning comes in, and it's why it's such a good investment of time. The following is how we define it. Microlearning is a new type of education that focuses on small doses of useful information. You need to be able to reinvent yourself anytime you need to in order to have a fighting chance in this world, and you need a lot of tools to do so. Microlearning entails learning what others take years to learn in a month's time. People greatly underestimate how quickly they can pick up a new skill if they approach it correctly. You can devote 50 to 100 hours to learning a new subject and gain enough knowledge to establish a business in that field. It's a fresh approach to doing your own schoolwork. If you incorporate microlearning into your daily routine, you'll be surprised at how much your personal education will improve. The better you get at it, the more quickly you'll be able to traverse the world and reinvent yourself as needed. Last but not least. 4. Mindfulness. The most crucial tool you have is your mind. It will become clogged with noise and underperform if left unchecked. Bad judgment and poor decision-making are the results of a confused mind. If you just have one item to concentrate on, make it your mind. Overstimulation is the foundation of today's world. Everything is always in your face, vying for your complete and undivided attention. This muddles your sense of time and causes your priority list to get jumbled. You can't think for more than a minute at a time, and your mind is continuously running from one thing to the next. It's as though you're going through the motions of your days. Mindfulness assists you in clearing your mind, organizing your thoughts, and revealing the next steps you should take. If you've ever worked late at night, you've probably had this experience without even realizing it. The time when the rest of the world has gone to sleep and you're alone with your thoughts. Outside, there is no traffic, no phone ringing, and no notice appears. It feels like time is slowing down and you're living in a virtual world. Everything is crystal clear and precise. You can afford to take your time and think things through rather than feeling rushed to do everything. That emotion is tremendously powerful and beneficial, and if you're aware of it, you can repeat it at will. In fact, some people believe that mindfulness is sitting in an uncomfortable yoga pose for an hour and going hum. And while tactics will differ from person to person, that isn't the point. The reason why so many successful people practice mindfulness or meditation is that they require mental organization. The more on your plate you have, the more order you'll need in your thoughts. That concludes today's video. We hope you gained some useful knowledge today. If you liked what you saw, make sure to subscribe for more. We've got a bonus for you as a thank you for sticking with us until the end. And the subject of today's bonus is patience. We began this essay with a short anecdote about Warren Buffett, who amassed the majority of his money after he turned 50. The goal of that anecdote was to illustrate how our returns on investment might compound over time, but also to emphasize the importance of patience. In the period of 15 years, you can live 3 separate lives. When you let time work for you, you get the best results. Allow yourself time and trust the process. Sometimes you have to give up today for a better tomorrow, but if you're wise about it, today doesn't appear to be all that horrible. You may plan for the future while simultaneously enjoying the present. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications so you don't miss out on future ones.